Hey everybody, welcome to the video. What I wanted to do today was cover one of, if not the most important topics in trading and one of the biggest psychological barriers that is holding you back from being the trader that you want to be. I know it held me back for years, so I wanted to cover today how to overcome the fear of trading. And it's such a broad topic. It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer video, so I have a clip of trades that I've taken just so it can kind of help your short attention span get through it. But I promise you, this video is going to be for people who are taking serious or who are taking trading serious. It's not for people who are taking it as a hobby. If you are, then you can't make it through a half hour long video. Then I hate to break it to you, but the harsh reality is that trading is not for you. But I know the people who are serious and will listen all the way through and take it to heart, that is who this is targeted towards. And I guarantee you by the end of this video, it will help you in one way or another. So let's go ahead, get into it, and break it all down. So this is a video that I know is going to be so important and help so many people out because I'm so passionate about talking about this because it is something that held me back, as I mentioned, for so long. And once I was finally able to face these things and talk myself through it through years of journaling, trading becomes a whole new world for you. And so I want to break down step by step the things that can help get you there. But first, what we have to do is face reality, face the facts, and break down each step. What are the things that in general hold people back from seeing the success they want to see? What are these factors, these fear factors, that are plaguing and affecting your trading so dramatically on an everyday basis? Now, the first thing we really need to dive into is talk about how this market is only you versus yourself, right? There is no one else who is clicking that button for you. There is no one else telling you what to do. Anything that you do in this market is you versus you. And this is a reality that 99% of people can't face. And I've seen it. I've been in chat rooms, I've been in discords, I've been in the industry for 5 years now, so I've seen my fair share of things. Human nature is not to take responsibility. People find it so hard to realize that everything they do in the market is their fault, good or bad, right? And so I've seen it so many times where maybe price action was bad that day, and people, talk about, oh, price action sucked. This market sucks. It's the reason I'm losing money. No, it's not the reason you're losing money. The reason you're losing money is your fault. You're the one pushing the button in those bad environments. If you're the one taking trades on No News Mondays the day before CPI, or blowing accounts on Fridays when price action was bad, whose fault is that? It's yours, right? So it's all about recognizing things like this, learning as much as you can about yourself and your tendencies, and then being able to implement those things. And that's why trading is such, it's experience is one of the biggest components and advantages of trading that new traders just don't have. Someone who's looked at the market for 5 years is automatically at a bigger advantage than someone who's looked at the market for 3 months, right? And that's just obvious. That goes with anything. So people who get frustrated with losing or making mistakes within their first couple months, couple years, it's all a part of the process because what you're doing is you're molding yourself. You are literally molding yourself into the person that you want to become. And it's one of the hardest things on planet Earth to do because psychologically, we are meant to be in comfort situations. We do not like to be uncomfortable. Okay, but the biggest growth that you're going to experience in your life is going to come from situations where you are uncomfortable. Comfortable does not present growth. Anytime you are uncomfortable, it is going to implement a new way of thinking, a new experience. And what you're going to be able to do from that is learn from it. That's what you should do, is you should learn from it, but most people are not going to want to learn from it. What they're going to do is bitch and complain and say, I want to be comfortable. For example, bad price action this week. I'll talk about it this week. I was just in my Discord. I was talking about how price action has been extremely bad this week, and some people, had bad results. And you can sit there and talk about how poor the market was, how bad price action was, but you're the one who is engaging in those situations and not taking the proper risk protocols that you need to. And maybe you recognize these things, but you can't get yourself to actually implement them into the live market. And that's why it's you versus you, because no one's coming to save you, right? You can join any Discord in the world, you can buy any course in the world. No one is going to save you. It's all about implementing the things you learn about yourself through self reflection, through meditation, through experience, whatever it may be. It's going to be different for everybody. Learning about those things and about yourself, and then implementing them in the live market. And I'll say it again, it is one of the most difficult things to do because you are literally trying to change into a human being that you are not meant to be. You are not meant to be a trader. Your brain is not designed to be a trader mind. I have a couple friends and you know close close people to me, and they're financial advisors. And sure, they do some trading on their own and stuff like that. I don't really talk about that with them, but they're financial advisors, meaning they're managing people's retirement, they're managing people's portfolios and wealth and all of that, right? Really important things to people. It's people's livelihood, right? What is the difference between these financial advisors and normal people, right? Everyday people who don't know anything about the market or anything like that. Well, one, they're uninformed, obviously, right? But two, they don't understand the true risk of what they're doing and they don't accept it. They only want to make money. So, what happens for financial advisors when the market is in a bear cycle? What these people do is they're emailing their financial advisors every week, every month, and they're saying, "What are we doing? What are we doing? Why am I losing money? Why are you not doing anything about it?" And what these people don't realize is it's all a part of the process of being able to withstand these things and allow things to churn themselves out and go back into the right direction, right? Because people do not understand risk. Financial advisors are professional risk managers. And so I know this isn't about day trading or anything like that, but the point is right now, while you're a newer trader, you're in that state, or even if you're not a newer trader, you're a developing trader, you're in that state of being that regular human being of not understanding risk, not understanding the type of mindset you need to have for the long term, the type of mindset you need to have to overcome obstacles, to take on risk, how to manage the risk, know when to go heavier, know when to go lighter. These are things that you're going to learn through experience, through time, and through journaling. It's just, and why I said it's one of the advantages you get through experience versus someone who's a newer trader or doesn't have this experience yet. And it's going to take a long time to actually be able to learn about these things and then start implementing them consistently because that's a period that every trader goes through. They learn about something and then they start to implement it. Maybe they'll work for like a day or a week or a month, maybe, and then all of a sudden it'll blow up and they'll abandon that idea, whether it's a strategy or about some type of strategy, some type of risk management, right? They abandon that idea. Why? Because they're not disciplined to let it play out, to let these things play out themselves. And so they never get the true experience of learning and seeing the risk plan, the trading plan develop the proper way it's supposed to. Because I'll let you in on a secret is every profitable trading system needs to have losing trades. It needs to have losing trades. Okay? There's no 100% system out there. You need to lose money in the markets. It's a part of the game. And that's why something that's not talked about enough is you need to focus on being an exceptional risk manager, a money manager, alongside your technical analysis. So that is one of the biggest things, and that's where you versus you comes in because really you versus you is not about the technical analysis. It's not about how good you can read a chart. It's about two of the three aspects of trading: psychology and risk management. And then technical analysis is that third one, right? And that just comes with learning, right? That comes with watching YouTube videos, that comes with buying courses, being a part of discords, right? That's where you get that part. But the psychology and the risk management, that comes from real live market experience and time in growth. And so the reason why people don't make it is because they can't withstand that time, right? They can't withstand losing money over a period of time without seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, without knowing that is 100% guaranteed to work out in the end because it's not. It's just about how determined, how persistent are you to withstand the time it takes to learn these things. And that's why it is never the same for any trader. Some people are going to get profitable after 5 years. Some people are going to get profitable after a year and a half. Some people have been trading for 10 years and they're not consistently profitable because those people who have been trading for 10 years, they're not disciplined. It takes them longer to learn from their mistakes than it does from the person who was profitable after a year and a half. It all depends on the type of person you are and how long it takes you to learn from those mistakes and how disciplined you are to actually implement the things you learned into the market every single day. And that is why it's you versus you. So the next thing I want to get into here, and we don't have to dive deep into this because I think a lot of people recognize these problems. The next slide is going to talk about how we overcome them. But before I do that, I do want to do a little self promo here. I do run a free Discord community where I'm doing live trading when I'm not doing it on YouTube. I do trade breakdowns, I do weekly breakdowns, self improvement, all the goods that I wish that I had as I was an upcoming trader. And so I really think it's a great community. People are active in there and we're just discussing really great things. So the link is in the description if you wanted to go ahead and be a part of that. Absolutely no cost at all for free. And if you made it to this point in the video again and you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and lets me know that you guys are liking the content and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get back to the video here. So these primary psychological barriers that everyone is going to experience in their trading career is you have the fear of missing out, you have the fear of losing, and the fear of not being good enough. And a lot of these things are rooted in your impatience, your lack of discipline, and the magic eight ball fallacy. And what that is like shiny new object syndrome. So something's not working out for you and you see something else working for someone else, well, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go, wow, I want to try that out. That's working for them. Why can't it work for me? You're going to try that out for a little bit. And then what's going to happen? Same exact thing. It's going to not work for you for a little bit. And then you're going to go find something else. And the process repeats. So these are some major barriers and pitfalls that people have within their trading career. So in the next slide, what I want to do is talk about how we overcome those things. Now, I think this next conversation that we're going to have is probably going to be a little bit hard for some people. They maybe aren't going to be able to accept it. But the thing we need to talk about is addiction versus passion within your trading. And I get it. Listen, like I went through some really, really tough times, several depressions within my journey, right? I absolutely hated my job that I was working um, at one point in my trading career, and I was so desperate to leave. What it caused me to do was make bad decisions within my own trading. It caused me to go into the market, be greedy, try and make as much money as I can so I could leave my job, over trade, revenge trade, and when it didn't work out that day, and I ended up blowing my count, and I had a bad day at work because every day was a bad day at work. I hated it. That combined with not seeing the success that I wanted in trading, that was some of the most depressive times that I've experienced. And I get it if you're going through that. You want something so bad. You want to get out on the other side so bad that you're willing to do anything for it. And for some reason, no matter how many hours you put in, no matter how many different things you try, no matter how hard you try, nothing seems to work. And trust me, again, I 100% get it. It was some of the most frustrating times within my own journey. So what you need to do is you need to fix your personal life first. If you have a job like that that's causing you to, do things within your own trading because it's causing your life to be it just causes your life to suck and it affects your trading and it causes you to do bad things. You need to make a life change, and I know that's easier said than done, but you need to leave that job and you need to go need to go do something else because either it's going to be almost impossible. It's going to be extremely hard to try and just accept the situation that you're in and accept the time that it's going to take. Because whenever you're battling something like that, it's an uphill battle and it's one that's really hard to get by. But again, that involves with that involves changing your own personal life, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit here within our bullet points, but again what I wanted to talk about here was addiction versus passion. And with addiction, you might not think you're addicted. You might think that you are just extremely passionate about trading, that you want it to work no matter what. What's the difference between you and someone who's at the roulette table or the blackjack table right now at the casino? They're thinking the same exact thing. They're thinking they're not addicted. They're just thinking that they want it to work, that they're going to hit, that it's somehow going to work, that the next account that they buy is going to be the one that gets them a payout. Now combine that or compare that with someone who's at the blackjack table and hoping that they're going to come out on the winning end by the end of the day. There's really no difference. If you don't know that you have a profitable edge, that you have a profitable system, and know that you are a sound money manager and know exactly what you're doing, and you know, then you're gambling, right? And I understand you're trying to learn how to trade and things like that. But if you are going in there blind without a clear cut plan on how you approach the markets every single day, then what you're doing is you're going in, sitting at the table, and hoping to come out profitable at the end of the day. And it's a hard, hard reality to face because, again, you're sitting there thinking, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to change my life for the better, and I'm going to help other people out. I'm going to get great things. And you're not. You're not with the mindset that you have because you're gambling by going in there without the necessary tools equipped to be able to acquire those things. Okay, so you need a plan. You need to prove to yourself that you can follow a plan, that you can follow a system. So if you're going in there and you're buying prop firm accounts without this experience, then again, you're trying to hit at the blackjack table. You're trying to hit at the roulette table. And so I was addicted at one point, and it was a hard reality for me to realize because I sat there after buying prop firm after prop firm account and seeing how much I've spent over the years and continuing to make the same mistakes. Or blew my account again, doing the same dumb shit on the prop firm account where I over traded, I over leveraged on a day where I should have just stopped. I took 3 trades in a day except 2, and with that third trade, I went past my max drawdown limit that I provide for myself, or it cost me the account. You're at the blackjack table. You're not doing the things that you need to do. You're breaking your rules and deviating from the plan. That's not passion in trading. That's addiction. Okay, and I understand Just because you break your rule, like I still break rules sometimes because I'm human and it's trading's extremely hard. Okay. But you have to be able to get to a point where, yes, you may sometimes break a rule here or there, but it doesn't absolutely destroy you or your account. You know how to limit the damage, you know how to step back and walk away. That's the difference between someone who's addicted versus someone who's running around with their head cut off and hoping to hit. So I think everyone really goes through this within trading. And it's really unfortunate that it's not talked about enough. And there's just videos out there where it's like, you can do it, I promise you, just put your head down and work and you can do it. But they don't talk about how really, I think everyone at some point gets addicted to trading, and then people can ruin their lives, they can ruin their bank accounts with it, and then they end up quitting or just, I think a lot of people are dealing with a lot of financial trouble with these prop firm accounts because they're going in there and buying accounts every day, every other day, multiple times a week, and they're blowing them and then hoping for something to change. Say you pass that account, you do not have the proper tools and the proper discipline you need to get consistent payouts on that account. You're going to pass the account by getting lucky and you're going to blow it and you're going to start back from square one. So that's where you need to take a step back, realize your addiction, turn it into passion for following the plan. Following the plan. And that really leads me to my next step because we already talked about personal life and things like that, um, which I can dive into a little bit more as we go. But developing a plan, it is going to be what saves you from falling into the pit of non consistency for the rest of your trading career. Now, I recently, and it's kind of funny that I did this, but recently over the weekend, I went back through some journals and I was talking to my Discord about this, but I went back through my journals and I take journaling very seriously. I have, my own psychological journals where it's actual hard notebooks. Like I have, you know, journals that I can hold, right? And I write down in them. And then I have Notion templates where I actually um, screenshot my trades and do my analysis there. And I actually have a video where I show you how to journal and the template that I use. So I'll leave a link to that video in the description. Um, but what I've done is over the weekend, I went through these things and I was going through my old Notion journals when I was first learning ICT. And I did this whole entire loop. I really just realized this weekend is I started with the basics of ICT, right? I started with just the simple concepts, liquidity, fair value gaps, and order blocks. That was really it. That's all my journals were. My charts were clean, and that was it. And then for years after that, I got caught up in all of his new concepts, all of these new videos that we're releasing, and I started to implement everything that I was learning into every trading day. And there were so many different things that I had in my trading to the point where it was just it's causing me to not have a firm bias. My thoughts were changing every single second. Well, I think price could go up here, but I don't think it'll reach past this level because of this PDA race. No, I think it's gonna go down here. So I missed the trade. I can't take it. Or I got out of the trade too early. Or I took a trade that I shouldn't have. And so that was a process I went through of simple basics that I had at the beginning when I was first learning, all of the bullshit that I went through and learned, and then now my journaling and my analysis and my charting pretty much looks like what I had back then. Right? I obviously I have the benefit of having much more chart time and much more experience than I have now than I did back then, but my charting and my analysis is the same exact way. So it was this whole loop of I always had exactly what I needed. I just overcomplicated it. And that is one of the biggest lessons really that I learned just recently this weekend where it was always there. I just made it more complicated than I needed it to. And I always had plans, right? I would write them down in like Word docs. I'd write them out on pieces of paper where I need to follow this plan, two trades, do this, do that. I never followed it. I never followed it, and I wouldn't take it serious. I would not take if I broke the plan. I wouldn't take it serious. I would just talk about, oh well, I should have done this instead. I should have seen this in price. No, you should have followed your rules and your risk management, and you wouldn't have blown the account. So your plan is not just technical analysis. Your plan is a risk plan. Your plan is trade management. You have your technical analysis plan where it needs to be, simple. The logic is, of course, complex and it takes a long time to actually learn and be comfortable with it. But that, again, comes with time. But your rules need to be extremely simple and straightforward to the point where you know if you're doing something wrong. I'll tell you my rules right now. Two trades per day. If I win one trade, I stop. If I lose two trades, I stop. If I lose the first trade, I risk half on the second trade. Meaning, if my risk is, let's call it, um, if I'm risking half a percent of the account, so if I'm trading a $50,000 account and I risk half of a percent on the trade, that's $250 for the first trade. If I lose that trade and I see another setup, I have to risk $125 on the next trade. If I lose that trade, what's my max drawdown on the day? $375. So I apply that depending on the size of the account that I'm trading. So I should not lose more than $375 in a day. If I did, I broke my rules. If I took a trade after I won, I broke my rules. If I took more than two trades, I broke my rules. And then there's consequences that I have to face. And I do things in my personal life and prevent myself from being able to do things in my personal life if I break my rules. And now, really, what I've done with this is I have shifted my brain into not getting dopamine from taking wins in the market, but I get dopamine from following my plan. And that has been the biggest game changer in my trading. I promise you, once you can develop your mindset to get dopamine from following your plan, you're already there. It's just a matter of time. It's just time now of following the rules and stacking. And it's going to be so much easier to follow the rules because whether it's a win or loss or break even day, you're going to be happy at the end of the day because you followed your rules. It's one of the biggest shifts. It was the thing that clicked for me. It was the light bulb moment that everyone talks about where it's not about winning anymore. It's not about profit. It's about going into the day, following your pre-market protocols, knowing what you're looking for, sticking with it, and then following those rules. So at the end of the day, what you can do is you can be happy, win, lose, or draw. And that is going to be the thing that takes you to the next level. I promise you. It's what did it for me. It's when I started to see consistent results. It's when I stopped going in and over trading multiple times a week or breaking my rules multiple times a week. Now it's like when I break a rule because I've been so consistent with it, it feels dirty. It feels like I'm cheating on my wife, right? Because my plan, it's my Bible. It's my Bible and I can't cheat on it. So that is it it detaches you from winning, it detaches you from profit. You don't care. You don't care if you lose. You're not worried about the next trading day. You're not going to bed at night hoping that another setup is going to form. It just it's like it was a rainy day, all the clouds are covering the sky, and then it all just parts and there's the sun, right? That's literally how it feels. It's the most freeing feeling in the world. And I truly believe that's the step that gets people over the edge from not seeing the consistency they want to now being a profitable trader. So those are really the biggest steps on how to overcome these things. And the last thing I'll say before I end this video, you're not going to get there if you don't, again, have a plan. You need to have a trading system that you know works. You need to have something that you've back tested for hundreds and hundreds of trades, have forward tested for hundreds of trades, and that's not just with technical analysis, that's with risk protocol as well. So, whatever rules you're implementing in the live market, you're implementing them in your back testing as well. So, I already gave you my rules for my live market, and I'm only looking from at the market from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. So, what am I doing in back testing? That same exact thing, not deviating outside of it even a little bit. Okay, so that's how I know my plan and my strategy works because I've back tested it in prior markets with my risk strategy, and I'm always profitable at the end of it. So I know how many trades I should be taking a week to maintain that consistency. I know if I'm over trading. I know if I'm doing something wrong. And so what I do at the end of the week if I make a mistake during the live market is I adjust and then I focus on that the next week coming in. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that in there, one of the biggest things. All right, so thank you guys for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, I promise you, trading is for you and you will see that success that you want to see. You just have to start implementing these things, doing a lot of self-reflection, and start to, um, you know, really, really again, implement these things and you'll get there. Okay, trust me. Again, if you want to be a part of the Discord where you watch me live trade and talk more about these things, the link is in the description for free. Please sub to the channel. And again, thank you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day.